This series covers both Poser 10 and Poser Pro 2014, both incredibly enhanced programs over their predecessors and worthy of an upgrade path if you work with these programs. Now, you may be asking, well, what is the real difference between these and how does it show up when you go through the tutorial series? Well, the Poser Pro 2014 is primarily for content developers. Poser fundamentally is a content manipulation tool and not a content creation tool. So for the clothing you see for the characters, that's developed in an outside 3D program and brought in and adapted to the characters. That's where Poser Pro 2014 is designed to fit that little niche. Now, it also allows you to take an existing library of clothing and repurpose it to new characters, so that's pretty cool. Now, if you're a content user, you're not going to make clothes, you may make changes once in a while, well, Poser 10 may be for you. But the thing is, you can kind of affect the same changes with both programs, and that's what we'll take a look at, or the primary difference between these two applications is that it has to do with how quickly you can make these changes. So let me show you what I'm talking about right here. The Poser 10 basically allows you to make these clothing changes or repurpose the clothing manually, while the Poser Pro 2014 kind of does it in an auto fashion. What you see on the screen here is a swimsuit that's applied to a character. And when you're in the fitting room, which is a new room in 2014, you click a button essentially, and it shrink wraps the clothing to the character. Saves a ton of time. Now you can do the same thing with the Poser 10, but you wind up having to, instead of clicking to make the change and having it happen automatically, you get to paint the changes on. But here is where it gets a little bit blurry. The fitting room, while it's a fantastic new tool, isn't problem-free. And the problems aren't necessarily so much with the fitting room itself, but with the clothing that you can use. The older legacy clothing that has come with Poser in the past is a mixed bag, whether it's successful or not in really matching a new character because of how it's designed. New clothing, no problem. So if the clothing doesn't fit in the Poser Pro 2014, you get to paint something called a weight map and make some changes. So there's some painting in either side or either direction that you go. The other two changes, important, are that there are more advanced parameter dials for the 2014 user that allows you to quickly change the body types, all those features of characters. And finally, something that should make content developers jump up and down is that you can actually copy morphs now from figure to figure, saving a ton of time in the development of additional types of clothing for a given character. So that's the primary differences. You'll see these marked up in the table of contents for 2014 only type of applications. Otherwise, all the new features, the enhancements to the Poser package here are common to both 10 and Poser Pro 2014.